Manchester City 2, Arsenal 2. It's time for the breakdown. First of all, I want to say what a match between the two teams. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. Disappointed with the draw at the end. Felt like, if we go into halftime and you tell me we're going to get a point, I'd be happy with it. But the way we got that draw, it just felt so disappointing for it to end that way. I would have loved to have obviously gotten 3 points. But let's go ahead. Let's break this game down from start to finish, and even a little bit after as well. Haaland's opener to begin. What went wrong defensively? Obviously, we saw, if you've seen the images, Calafiori's a little bit up the field. You see Bernardo Silva take the space on the right flank. You see two Arsenal players, Partey and Gabriel, both kind of try to watch that run, that open space in the middle. Haaland runs right through, and the pass gets played, and it's an easy finish there for Erling Haaland. You see the space between Saliba. That space is occupied, I think, because Gundogan's run as well. I think Arsenal played well there leading up into that moment defensively. Obviously, just that one single lapse, mostly caused by Manchester City's off-the-ball movement. Extremely important for them, of course, but very unfortunate for Arsenal to concede that way, especially, for me being an Arsenal fan. But, that's what went wrong defensively. I hope to see better things in the future there, maybe from Calafiori. Timber obviously starting on the right back position with Ben White out injured. Arteta did not want to play Ben White, but obviously he got subbed on in the second half. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the second goal of the match, the equalizer that started with controversy. Coming from Kyle Walker and Pep, who were disappointed with the call by the referee. They're saying the free kick was taken 8 yards ahead of where it should have been. You can argue that all day. It happens all the time in meaningful moments, in not meaningful moments. We see players move the ball intentionally all the time. Was it the incorrect decision by the referee? Should the ball have been placed there? No. Following that up, Kyle Walker was giving instructions to his teammates rather than getting back to his position. That was the other issue that City had, which was where that Walker was called over to speak to the referee and not given time. I think that he was given plenty of time to get back to his position, but I did see, on the replay, he's talking to his teammates in that moment, and then once Partey punts the ball forward, then he has to retreat. I think that it was plenty of time by the referee given, so I did totally disagree with that point being made by City fans as well. Up next, we have poor marking by City. We saw Doku marking Gabriel the first time he got free and missed the target, and then we saw it again later, which resulted in a goal where, Kyle Walker doing his little tap, 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 and then just got beat off the mark by Gabriel. Gabriel with his second goal of the season, back-to-back goal games with a goal. Game against Tottenham away and game against Manchester City away. If we win that game, that's probably one of the best weeks in Arsenal history for a single player in that moment, just being able to score two unreal goals from set pieces for center back. That's things that center backs, when they get those opportunities that they want, and Gabriel's taken full advantage of it and has become a true threat for Arsenal, becoming in conversations of top center back in the league at this very moment. Poor marking from City again. Not sorting anything out defensively, really. There's not too much to talk about. They saw it the first time, didn't make any changes the second time. People calling for a foul by Martinelli. I'm telling you, if you watch the replay, there's a hand on him, I believe, by Gavardiol, on Martinelli by Gavardiol. Where's Nelly going to go? Because if he tries to push the hand of Gavardiol to get free, he's probably going to see a foul called on him because they're getting handsy or whatever. Because Gavardiol is going to grab a jersey. They're both going to go to ground. And then what? Then you're going to call a foul on Martinelli anyway. So he's just got to stay there and kind of take it. And, it's just unfortunate for City that Ederson was not able to get in positioning to make a claim on that corner. But that's Arsenal's strategy. Up next, we have the red card. Very unfortunate. Obviously, it is a second yellow based on, the letter of the law. I wish, Trossard had seen it happen just a few weeks earlier, and, it probably still is a yellow card despite the timing and everything. He didn't have much time to react. He's trying to play a ball through that Martinelli can just run onto. It looks like he's clearing the ball. It looks like he's just sending it out of play or whatever, but if you look at the replay, Martinelli, from a wider view, Martinelli's trying to get free on the left flank and make a run. So I understand what Trossard was trying to do, but it's just something where you just fouled the player. Maybe you thought it was the end of the half. Maybe you thought it was you know, maybe you thought it wasn't a foul or it was a no call, but you just got to be smarter than that. Trossard left Arsenal playing with 10 men for the entirety of the second half. And then, of course, to talk about the second half, I think that Arteta did everything right to deserve 3 points tactically there. He outsmarted Pep in that second half. Tactically, Arsenal outmatched Manchester City during that second half. And I believe in the first half, Arsenal did as well. Obviously, unfortunate injury to Rodri. I hate to see a player like him come off the pitch, but situations like that you see happen on corners where players collide, players get physical, and his knee, it's very unfortunate, but I don't think there's any malice by Partey in that situation, Thomas Partey. But moving along to that second half, unbelievable defensive work from Arsenal. Super proud of them. I mean, unbelievable performances from Arsenal there in the second half by everyone on the defensive line in the midfield. You saw players shifting laterally all game long just in front of the box. You saw them pressing when they needed to press, allowing shots where they could allow shots that weren't high quality shots for Manchester City, and then so on and so forth. The final goal, though, extremely disappointing. We give away a corner. First of all, Jesus gives away a corner stupidly, runs it out of play to give Manchester City the first corner. They end up getting a second corner from it, and then obviously that's taken as a short corner. Jack Grealish works into the box, fires that ball across. Ball bounces around a few times. I think Raya made the initial save, and then John Stones is able to just kind of tap it in without any problems. Extremely disappointing to concede like that. Nobody goes out to Grealish. Everybody just kind of stands there waiting in the box for something to happen. And when you wait, and you put that much pressure on your goalkeeper, he's not going to be able to react. He's not going to be able to do anything. So there was really nothing Raya could do. I can't remember exactly who it was on the edge of the 6-yard box that just kind of let Grealish get to the 6-yard box. From the 18-yard box to the 6-yard box, Grealish could have walked there without any problems. I mean, he did walk there without any problems because nobody came out to press him when he had the ball. And then the last thing, post-match, something that's totally not irrelevant to the result itself, to the analysis and things like that. I think that this game is going to be an unbelievable rivalry for years to come, whether Pep leaves, whether Arteta leaves, whatever it may be. These teams are competitive. These teams are talented. These teams want to win every game. They want to win every challenge. They want to win every shot, every tackle, every interception, every pass. They want to win. And two teams that are that competitive and want to win every single time, I mean, you're going to see tension like you did at the end of the match from minute 1 to the end of the match between Arsenal and Manchester City. I do think the one thing I want to highlight is how is Erling Haaland going to say, "Who are you?" to a 17-year-old making his debut, to then telling Mikel Arteta to be humble? It just doesn't make sense to me how you can contradict yourself so much like that. But I don't want to harp on that too long. I'm really excited about the follow-up match when these two teams play each other. I'm not quite sure when it will be. It's going to be February 1st. So 1st of February. I'm super excited about that one as well. They're back at the Emirates. So I'm super excited to see what Arsenal can do at home, hopefully with a full strength starting 11. Obviously, as it's come out in the news, Rodri's going to be missing for the rest of the season. I'm interested to see what that does for City, what they're able to do in midfield to cope with that. Are we going to see Kovacic and Nunes? Are we going to see, are we going to see, John Stones stepping into midfield again now that he's healthy? Rico Lewis. It's going to be a Rico Lewis, Kovacic midfield. Obviously, short-term injury for De Bruyne as well. Taking a look ahead, though, I'm going to look at the next 5 matches in depth for each team, and then we're going to kind of highlight the 6th and 7th match. This is all in the Premier League because these matches, I think, are going to be very challenging. Those 6th and 7th, well, the 6th for both teams are going to be extremely challenging. First of all, Manchester City, next 5 matches. Newcastle away, extremely difficult matchup. especially with Rodri's first day out. They're going to be working out some kinks, and then you got the possibility of De Bruyne still being out as well. What is that going to look? What is that City midfield going to look like? Is it going to be Gundogan? Is it going to be Rico Lewis, Matheus Nunes? Is it going to be Bernardo Silva playing as a six-ish player again? What are we going to see from City in the midfield? Fulham at home, I think they'll handle that easily. Wolves away, Southampton at home, no problems. I do think the last match, Bournemouth away, will be a bit challenging for Manchester City. I just think this Bournemouth team is really good, and we're about to talk about Arsenal playing Bournemouth away as well. I think it's going to be challenging for both teams, but I do think both teams pick up 3 points there. Now, Arsenal's next 5 matches, we've got Leicester at home. I think they pick up 3 points there. Southampton at home, 3 points there. Bournemouth away, I think 3 points. Liverpool at home will be challenging. I do think it's 3 points. And then again, Arsenal at the end of October will be facing Newcastle. Again, another challenging matchup. Both teams face Bournemouth away. Both teams face Newcastle away. Those are the 2 matches I could see both teams potentially dropping points for multitude of reasons. I do think Arsenal at home will handle Liverpool. I think that their matches, that this matchup will be tough, but I do think Arsenal will get 3 points against Liverpool. I think that Bournemouth just are a bit more of a bogey team than Liverpool. We know what we're getting from Liverpool, but I think that a bogey team like Bournemouth could pick up points against either Manchester City or Arsenal. Now we're going to talk about the 6th match in the Premier League of these teams. Brighton away for City, Chelsea away for Arsenal. Those are 2 very challenging matchups for both teams. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Arsenal and City, do you think they both drop points that week? Both of them away, City at Brighton, Arsenal at Chelsea. I think it really depends on form coming into the match. Obviously, leading into the match against Chelsea, Arsenal's going to be playing Inter in the middle of the week. If you look at the Southampton match, between the Southampton-Leicester match, Arsenal plays at home against PSG. But I do think a trip to Inter Milan followed by a trip to Chelsea could be very challenging for Arsenal. Obviously, we saw them do it this week. Tottenham draw against Atalanta, and then a draw against City. It will be challenging. It will be a difficult matchup. And then lastly, Arsenal plays at home against Forest the following week to finish up the November matches. I think there's a international break in November, and then following that as well, that same weekend, you got City hosting Tottenham, a team that has historically gone to City and taken 3 points, taken a point, have gotten results at City. Obviously didn't do it last year, but most of their fans wanted to lose a game, and they are now not playing in the Champions League because of that. But I do think that that's another result that we could see go Arsenal's way in the table, with Tottenham taking points from Manchester City at Manchester City. But that's all for me. I don't have too much to talk about in this matchup. I really wanted to highlight this game. I don't know if we're going to do match reviews too much further in the future, just because there's not too much to say that's not already been said, especially by the time the breakdown comes out. So I do think we'll kind of mix things up, maybe do more previews than reviews in the future, and kind of make the breakdown maybe longer form, talking about players, talking about teams, talking about results, talking about competitions, things like that, more in a broad sense than this very specific matchup. If you enjoyed any of it and you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button, leave a like down below, and comment stuff you'd like to see me talk about in the future. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one.